Good afternoon. Thank you for coming this section. My name is Chen Wei. I come from academic Silicon. I'm going to chair this section. This section we have 3 in my talk, and each talk has 35 minutes. So we will set the presentation time of 30 minutes and leave 5 minutes for the question and comment. Okay. The first talk will be given by Professor Yong-Woo Sun from Korea Institute for Advanced Study, Seoul, Korea. And the title is Electronic Phase Transition in Data Crystals. Let's welcome Professor Sun.
First of all, I thank the organizer for kind invitation. Actually, I have been Taiwan many times, but this city is my first visit. So I enjoyed a lot. I have enjoyed a lot. So it's kind of a little bit misleading, but before going to that, I want to thank collaboration. Is my postdoc. It's Dr. Hyun-Jung Kim and Seung-Gang is doing first part, and Dr. Junho Lee for the second part, and collaborators Ikudoro Hamada in Osaka University and my former postdoc in the Sejun Kim. Actually, all works presented here are computational work based on the available computational code and also our own implementation, because there is no available routines for our purposes. And references are all here. You can easily find out archive. So you may heard a lot about transition method tonight, so I don't want to discuss further here, but important thing is that actually there are many different intra-layer configuration as well as inter-layer stacking orders. So it's various electronic properties such as metallic and superconducting or charge dense wave are strongly dependent on all the this kind of configuration. So actually, you may heard lots of talks on the 2H or 1T structure, but today I want to focus on the 1T prime. This is some kind of static Yantella-like distorted or 1T structure, so the transition metal forms this kind of a diamond chain-like a structure, but it's metallic, okay? And also there are other structure called the 1T diamond chain structure. This usually found out the rhenium compound. So today I will focus on this. So the topics is that I first discuss the bulk polymorphism of a 1T prime structure of a moly and tungsten ditelluride. And the second topic, I will go to the polymorphism of a doped single layer moly or tungsten ditelluride and discuss of the possible topological phase. Okay, so moly ditelluride and tungsten ditelluride can only have 2 different intra-layer configuration, such as 2H and 1T prime. So 2H is ABA stacking order, such as it's this kind of structure, and 1T is actually ABC, but if you further distort it along the one direction, it's a kind of 3 possible direction, but there's only one directional distortion, that you can have this kind of distorted structure. And this one is unstable. If you stack this 1T prime structure in 3 dimensions, there are 2 states, 2 available structures. One is a beta phase, the other is gamma phase. The space group notation is here. Simply speaking, is beta phase is monoclinic, so there are kind of 94 angle. It's away from this kind of 90 degree for the orthorhombic structure. Some people call it a TD, or that, but I prefer to say beta for the monoclinic, and gamma is orthorhombic. The important thing is that there are structural phase transition at around 250 Kelvin. This is the first order phase transition. That if you have a higher temperature, the structure is kind of a monoclinic, but there are phase transition to the monoclinic structure. This is very old work, and now routinely found out that for the moly ditelluride structure. However, there is no such a phase transition for the tungsten ditelluride. So, but this is quite surprising. And also, this kind of monoclinic phase structure of tungsten ditelluride and molybdenum telluride actually are the candidate, or some people claim the confirmation that it's kind of type 2 by the manners. However, the beta structure for 3D work is a trivial matter, actually. And if you go to the 2D limit, few layers of beta structures actually are quantum spinor insulator, and the gamma phase actually are trivial insulator. Okay, so it's a stacking, doesn't matter. So, but this kind of different phase transitional behavior for the moly and tungsten is quite surprising, because the tungsten and moly has almost identical atomic radius. It's up to the 1 picometer. Okay, but however, its atomic number of electrons outside shell is quite the same, but its configuration is a little different. It's that the moly has a S1 and 45, and tungsten is S2, 6S2, and 44. So the problem for this material is, as far as I know, all existing computation for the electronic properties are relying on the experimental input, because the first principle cannot reproduce the crystal structure proved by X-ray. So if you do using the atomic structures using the first principle calculation, actually cannot reproduce the topological properties. So, and also, as I mentioned, that there is no known origin for the different structural phase transition. So first we go to the 2D limit of 1D prime structures. So as I told you that there were experiments, they observed the band gap of the 2D limit of 1D prime structure. But if you just do a simple empirical calculation or little empirical correction, that actually the gap doesn't happen, doesn't occur for the moly ditelluride, and tungsten ditelluride gap develops. Even if you put a very high U, that actually moly ditelluride is very hard to reproduce the experimental results. And tungsten ditelluride is okay. Okay, so this is quite important, as also other Antonio and also other speakers emphasize that in the 2D crystal, if you put the crystal on top of substrate, actually there are many interactions occurs outside of the substrate without any screening or partial screening of the substrate. So your kind of dielectric constant sensitively depends on the dielectric constant of your substrate. So it's kind of changing the screen-Coulomb interaction as kind of a geometric average of the substrate and vacuum dielectric constant. So even for the metallic single-layer cases, our recent calculation shows that niobium diselenide single-layer Fermi surface altered a lot if you do the mean field or self-energy correction. So, and also the layered structure is van der Waals interaction is quite important. So as far as I know that there are two good examples or functional to calculate the interlayer distance and atomic structure for bilayer graphene, multiple layered structure. One is kind of this strongly constrained, appropriately known RBB10, kind of scan RBB10 approach. Or the other one is we modify the locus van der Waals functional form for reparameterize the revised B86B functional. This is a little bit technical for you, but anyhow, part of this van der Waals functional are already implemented in the available code, but there's no functional for the spin orbit coupled thing. So we developed this, implemented in the connect them to available code. So we calculated our new revised van der Waals DF2, and this is ABC lattice constant for the moly ditelluride and tungsten ditelluride with and without spin orbit coupling. And you can see that this line is experiment, and that line is the calculation for the various functional or van der Waals functional. You can see that all lattice constant that revised van der Waals DF2 can be produced very well. Okay, then other functional, once one parameter fits and the other one is very bad, then vice versa. So I recommend you, if you are computational material research, if you are doing the computational material research, that it is very important to include the appropriate van der Waals functional to calculate the layered material. Okay, so error rate is 0.5% for the crystal structure. So with our converged relative structure, we calculated the bulk band structure and this monoclinic and also rhombic. Then Morley gate telluride, as people predicted already, that we can find out 8 by point, is very robust. However, our converged structure for the tungsten ditelluride doesn't show any bipoint, because in this kind of structure, the bipoints are very close to each other. So if you change the structural parameter a little bit, then those bipoints annihilate each other, so they disappear very easily. Okay, so our computation for the structure, we believe that we are very close to the reality, but we cannot reproduce the bipoint. So anyhow, using those kind of correlation effect and the van der Waals functional, we can calculate the structural parameter, phase transition from the beta to gamma. And even though the barrier is very small, you can see that tungsten ditelluride doesn't have any energy barrier from beta to gamma phase, but Morley ditelluride has very kind of energy barrier from transition from beta phase to gamma phase transition. So, and also our calculation for the optimal angle for the beta phase is 93.3 degree, and the experiment is quite close. So, and also you can calculate the entropy and calculate the free energy. Then you can see that there are first order phase transition for the Morley ditelluride from negative to positive free energy differences, but there are no phase transition for the tungsten. So this is quite consistent, and temperature is quite similar to the experimental observation. So we can reproduce the all experimental observation using our ab initio structure. And why there are difference between Morley and tungsten? The reason is that, as you can see that this is intra-layered energy dispersion for the Morley and tungsten, and there's gamma A is out of plane direction. You can see that Morley ditelluride has partially filled out of plane direction, and tungsten ditelluride actually are all filled. So it somehow is kind of two-dimensional, but it is kind of a three-dimensional dispersion. So when you have a monoclinic and also rhombic, actually they are charge transfer from interlayer dispersion to the intrastate, so that they can make a barrier for the monoclinic also rhombic. So that's the reason why you have this kind of phase transition, but tungsten ditelluride doesn't have. So from this band structure, we understand that those kind of occupation or partial occupied, the interlayer state is quite important. So we can calculate the energy barrier as a function of doping. So this is tungsten Morley ditelluride. Then if you dope the electron, that means that we occupy the interlayer states, the outer plane state that actually the monoclinic states are more stable. And if you put a hole, then actually the beta orthorhombic state are more stable. And also we can control also the tungsten ditelluride as a function of doping. So this kind of prediction is already confirmed. If you search in the archive, then people from the University of Waterloo and other some other university, that they can artificially put some charge and then they see the observation of transition. But it means that actually you can control from topological bicell matter to the trivial cell matter by changing the dot. Okay, so next 15 minutes I will discuss dope phase of the molybdenum telluride and tungsten telluride. So for the last couple of years, we collaborate with the Yuanbo Zhang Group and Fudan University and show that there are very diverse and rich phase diagram for the correlated two-dimensional crystal. In this case, we discuss 1T tantalum disulfide. And you can see that as a function of gate or as a function of number of layers, there are multiple phase diagram for the incommensurate CDW or commensurate CDW. Even the superconductivity can be available. And there are this kind of research can allow us to study the physical property of extremely high doping. For example, Yoshi Iwasa at University of Tokyo started this kind of business in 2012. You can see that as a function of doping, that there are 2H structure of molybdenum developed superconductivity, like dome shape. And also, as I showed you before, Yuanbo Zhang also do the similar things that it goes up to it's very high doping that you can see that there's a lot of phase diagram, different structure. And also, the Antonio Castronido in the University of Singapore discussed this kind of very intriguing superconductivity and CDW coexistence in the 1T TiSC2. Okay, so this goes always up to 10 to the 15 per cubic square centimeter. It's extremely high. It's, as far as I understand, if you do the backgate technique using normal silicon dioxide, you never approach this. So this is a new experimental technique available. So now we are exploring the possible phase diagram for the 1T prime phase. So 1T prime phase is interesting because it is said as a quantum spinor insulator without doping. Okay, there are band inversion nearby happening. So it's somewhere around here and here. So really, it's tungsten ditelluride has gap of 800 millivolts, something like that. So you have a band inversion and you have a quantum spinor insulator state. It's already confirmed by Michael Cromie and David Cogden and last year. So we calculated first electron phonon coupling. So this is molybdenum telluride, tungsten ditelluride, using the, it's available, the irreversible formalism. So electron phonon interaction is quite rather strong. Then upon doping, we calculated. So as a function of doping, you can see that the variation of phonon and phonon density of state, and this is alpha scale F function. So you can see that there are giant phonon softening to the acoustic phonon mode at the zone boundary, near zone boundary. Then you can see that there are softening occurs nearby. Then because of that, actually the alpha scale F function increased very high at low frequency, and simultaneously average frequency of phonon decreased. So we plot out those the anodized impervious formalism that you can see that Tc goes up because of the lambda goes up, but simultaneously the low average, the omega decreased very quickly, so the Tc goes up and goes down as a function of doping. But if you see that there are critical doping is 0.3 electron per unit cell, it was kind of 10 to 14 electron per square centimeter. The phonon becomes to be negative, indicating the structure doesn't take its original position. But important thing is that these frequencies or the softening Q vector doesn't change as a function of doping, indicating that the CDW is not from the nesting, but from the electron phonon softening or strong electron phonon interaction. So we found out that this structure, this phonon softening can be relieved by these kind of CDW states. So we denote those chains of transition matter. Then this is exaggerated, exaggerated movement of transition matters. then as you can see that the new CDW state has a two non-symmetric symmetry operation. It's glide mirror and glide C2 rotation. It's essentially the same as mirror. So because of this non-symmetric crystal symmetry, then you may already learn yesterday that it's kind of a point plus 2 feeling that you supported topological by cell pace. So indeed, we found out that when you have a metallic CDW, as the CDW gaps are here only, then you can see that this kind of hourglass type bi-centimeter point. So yeah, this is kind of CDW induced the non-symmetric crystal structure, then supporting the topological bi-centimeter pace. Then if you go further, then the fully filled CDW phase, you have recovered the kind of insulating commensurate CDW. Then actually this turns out to be topological, this turns out to be quantum spinor insulator because its band is, when CDW has, band is already inverted. So original quantum spinor band, as is coming from here, now put a lot of electron here, then this turns out to be again the quantum spinor insulator because of the non-symmetric crystal structure distortion. So with a further doping, you can do a further doping, the more than 10 to the 14. Actually, this structure actually can be obtained experimentally easily. Actually, you put a lithium or hydrogen on top of crystal structure. The ion, hydrogen or lithium can more or less completely ionized, donate the electron to the system. Then actually, the full coverage of the ion, so on top of this, then actually you can have a new CDW state that has this kind of diamond-like or rhombus-like clustering. It's essentially same as a rhenium disulfide. For the rhenium disulfide or this kind of CDW, there are many competing CDW order. Because one unit is this, so you can have arranged diamond in this way or that way. So this has non-symmetric crystal symmetry, and this is a trivial crystal symmetry. So for this CDW cases, it's a fully gapped commensurate CDW, but in some cases you have this kind of entangled band structure along the Brillouin zone, corner or boundary. So in this case, it's a trivial. However, in this case, all important topological states are away from the Fermi energy. This is quite contrast to the previous cases that the intermediate doping, the CDW, can touch those milepoints as you change your gating. So this is a trivial CDW case. So in conclusion, I want to emphasize that you need a very accurate crystal structure to reliably reproduce or predict physical property of the TMD. So in this case, we have tested our implementation of revised Van der Waals DF2 version of functional with a spin-orbit interaction. Essentially, the spin-orbit interaction changed the crystal structure a little bit, but we need a complete picture. So we implemented this. I think that this version will be shortly uploaded to the all available code. Then the well-known and already it's very old experiments for the structural phase transition differences between Morley and tungsten ditelluride can be explained. And by using that, actually we can control the structure by doping. Simultaneously, it means that you can control the topological semi-metallic phase by doping, by changing the structure. And also we predicted that singly one T prime structure undergoes the 2D quantum spinor and superconductivity and the coexistence of the CDW and quantum spinor insulator, then goes to the normal insulator, CDW phase. So maybe in future that if you can achieve the inhomogeneous doping for the single 1T prime, actually you can make a boundary, various boundary between quantum spinor insulator and superconductor or CDW, etc. in the single material. Thank you for your attention.
nice presentation. And question or comment?
So on the tungsten dicyanide, when you do the electron photon calculation, are you including the SOC? Did you include SOC?
Yes.
Right. So how much, if you don't include SOC, how much will the electron photon interaction be changed?
Very little, actually. It's marginal. What I mean marginal is less than 5%.
So in principle, when you are dealing with two-dimensional materials, so basically you can just skip SOC.
But important thing is that if you do have an inversion breaking structure, such as orthorhombic, okay, you need spin-off decoupling to reproduce the points. Without it, you cannot.
Okay. The another thing is when you are working on the 1T titanium dicyanide, so did you try to do the electron photon calculation?
No.
No.
We didn't try 1T. So, there are many people are doing the 1T.
Oh, I see.
Dicyanide, including Professor May Xiao. So I never touched it.
Okay, please.
When you compare your lattice parameters calculated using different methods, including your revised van der Waals technique, you show that you can very nicely reproduce the lattice parameters. But could you also comment on the atomic positions, whether the atomic positions that you find are also comparable to the experimental values for today's?
Sure. So if you go to the archive, then you have a supplement that we compare one by one every atomic position to the X-ray, so you can check it.
So then, given that when we do this standard DFT calculation using atomic experimental XRD data, we can somehow see those type 2 wild nodes. Let's say you look at them directly, right? What kind of, apparently when you do these revised calculations, you cannot see those wild nodes, right?
So
what term is destroying those two wild nodes? What term that you have added to your Hamiltonian is responsible for destroying those wild nodes?
Yeah. So the van der Waals functional change the electron structure by changing the structure. Okay. So in the Hamiltonian electronic, the Feng-Chuan equation, that term is very small, very, very small. So if you're given atomic structure with and without van der Waals functional, that doesn't change much for the band structure. Okay. So our converged the lattice parameter for the tungsten telluride is 0.5% higher than the experimental observation. That destroyed my point. Okay? Then if you match those, make my point. So I don't believe that's a kind of possibility in reality.
Please.
For this revised density functional with van der Waals interaction, you found good agreement with two. I mean, the scan and the
scan I leave it time.
yeah. Did you test more than the two systems? Because statistically, I guess that you find good results for two systems is maybe not so
Sure.
impressive. Do you have other test systems where you see?
It's the graphene and graphite and others.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please.
So when you talk about doping as a means of facilitating this structural phase transition, so do you put the dopants in between the layers of say MOTE2 and WTE2? And if you're doing that, then have you considered the intercalation barriers?
So, very good questions. Actually, now we have two doping cases in my talk. First in the 3 dimension, and second one is 2 dimension. So, when I speak the doping in general, we use rigid band fluctuation. Okay, you put the charge by changing the chemical potential and put the background. But in 2 dimension, actually the other option, actually, you have a charged background helium, 2-dimensional helium with a artificial gate or insulating artificial gate. You can arrange in such a way that mimicking the kind of MOSFET geometry in an initial way. Okay, so that is avoid the kind of inevitable errors it has a rigid pattern approximation. But in the extremely high doping case, that doesn't work. So we put the atoms on top of it. It's kind of deposition of an alkali atom on top of graphene or phosphorine. It's very usual. So it's a donate electron only, then doesn't disturb the fundamental electronic property of the 2-dimensional crystal. So that's okay. And in 3 dimension, there are 2 ways to also doping. You use a modified pseudo potential, or you just put the rigid band structure. So we use a rigid band approximation of 3 dimension, but didn't use other sophisticated method for the 3 dimension. The 2 dimension, we have a lot of options.
But suppose, let's say hypothetically, you just place atoms and then you simulate. Then could you comment on what the barrier of this phase transition would be? Would it be lowered? Because I would expect it to be lowered.
As far as I have done, the lithium is okay. The lithium can penetrate very easily, doesn't change much. They just
It
give
has
a
been
little.
shown for MOS2 already, so
Yeah,
lithium, yeah.
yeah, that's okay. Lithium is okay, but the other cases you may have a suffer. So other different observation.
Oh, thank you.
Question or comment? Please.
So in the one semi-matter phase of the monolayer TMD, I wonder what symmetry protect your wire node, or it can actually be easily gapped.
What, 1T prime?
Yeah, actually the last. Yeah.
1T prime is single layer case is essentially spin orbit induced gap. Okay, band is inverted, so it doesn't survive with the inclusion of spin orbit interaction. So it's just a trivial quantum spin of insulate. It's a prototypical Kane-Murray quantum spin of insulate. Okay.
But I'm asking about this wire semi-matter phase.
By semi-matter phase, actually it doesn't change. It actually moves the interlayer interaction a little bit. Then the distance between the 2 biphone get closer and closer. And just annihilate each other.
But in 2D, I mean, the wire node can get gapped without the merging of the pair.
Yeah, 2D. 2D is a non-smorphic symmetry.
Okay.
It's a crystal structure. When you have a CDW, it's a very interesting case is this. So this is 2x5 superstructure for in these cases, you have unstable quantum mode. Then making this, you have 2 non-symmetric symmetry operation that protect the bias symmetry.
Any other question or comment? If not, I have the last one, okay? For your transient temperature of the 2H to 1T prong for MOTE2, okay, the theoretical prediction for transient temperature is 150. Experimental is 250. Okay, can you do further better than that?
So we try very hard, what we cannot.
We have, okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, let's thank Professor Sun again for the nice presentations.